Hey, how y'all are? Cajun Rob and my good friend Mr. John here, and we got Miss Stephanie tonight. Y'all gonna have she's an MPFL pro, and she's got a lot of experience. Has just a ton of experience, and she finished the season hot on NPFL last year. So y'all stay tuned.
All right. So we're going to welcome on Stephanie right now, and we're going to ask see how things are going and what's plans for 2024. Good evening, Stephanie. How are you?
How are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to not be frozen.
Yeah, us too. Yeah.
Yeah,
a little cold outside for my taste.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, give us a little background about your fishing and things like that. So give the audience a little.
Yeah, I've been fishing since I was about 2 years old. Started fishing with my dad and my mom and my grandpa. My mom had me actually in a playpen on her pontoon boat at 6 months old, if that tells y'all anything. So, I mean, I grew up on a boat. I've known how to fish for a very long time. From a young age, I told my dad I wanted to be a pro fisherman. And, I'm 42 years old. Yes, I just said it. I'm 42. And, back then, women just weren't pro fishermen. It's not something that you did, right? And I've always just wanted to do it. And it has always been, something I've always wanted to do. And I wanted to make it happen. I'm one of those people, if, I have a dream, I go after it. And, if I fail, I fail. You get back up. So.
Excellent. So I just want to talk a little bit about your fishing history. You were the 2021 Rookie of the Year in the LBAA.
Yes, sir.
That had to have been an extremely difficult thing. Was that your first season really doing the professional tour?
No. I fished back with them about, I don't know, it may have been 2009, 2010. It was a while ago. I was fishing tournaments back then, and I took a break because I had my second son. And, with his dad being a huge fisherman and I was a huge fisherman, I had to sit back and take care of him. So I took a break for a little while, but I never stopped fishing. I had a flat bottom boat, with a small Yamaha on the back. I went red fishing, bass fishing, and I did it almost every single day. And then, my oldest son now, he's about to graduate. So, getting him older, I'm able to go after these dreams and do what I absolutely love to do. I think once you get the, tournament thing, the tournament bug into your veins, it's there. You're either a person who really wants to compete and you thrive off that, or you're scared to do it and you sit back and watch. Yeah. And I'm one of those, I just can't get enough of it. I mean, it's great. Even if I get my teeth knocked out, I want to get back up and get back out there because I know I can do better the next time. So
excellent. How about last year you had a top 10 finish in the NPFL. How was that?
I did. How was that? It was crazy because, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. First tournament of the year, Pickwick sucked. I zeroed along with 8 other anglers. It was a very hard event. It was a hard event for me. I think a lot of it had to do with nerves. This was not, my first event ever. I mean, I fished the Opens. I fished the Toyota Series, a lot of BFLs. It was not my first event ever, but it was my first with the MPFL. You don't ever really know what to expect. When John Cox is to the right of you and you're looking over there and you're like, I'm fishing against him, but in reality, they can fail just like we can. You can be a rookie and do better than they can do sometimes. And they can sometimes kick your teeth in too. It's just part of it. But, I've come to realize that none of us are against each other. We're against the elements. We're against the fish. We're against ourselves, our own mind, because our mind gets in the way so much of what we're actually capable of doing. And if we can just get out of that, then it works. So I went into my second event and it was a tad better, but it still wasn't good. I ended up hurting my knee. I had to miss, I believe it was my 4th event. I had to sit back, miss that. I had to have knee surgery. I actually broke my kneecap and it lodged into my femur. And it was horrible. I honestly didn't know if I was going to get to come back or not. And when I came back after sitting back and having to watch them fish Saginaw and being jealous and everything else, because I was definitely jealous, I came back with a different mindset. I was like, I've been so worried about what everybody's doing around me, how they're fishing around me. I'm not doing me. Because one thing you have to realize, if you do what you're good at, wherever you go, you're not going to fail. It's not always going to be the outcome that you want, but you're not going to fail, and I had to realize that. So we went to Eufaula and I did me. I fished how I would fish. I fished like I would have fished back on Sam Rayburn, and it worked. I mean, it just worked. I had the best practice. I mean, it was fun. I had a great practice. Everybody else was griping around me saying, this place sucks. It's like, no, it doesn't. I'm having a good time, but I never told anybody I was catching any fish, though. Like, I'm having a good time. And I mean, going into that vent too. So we get there to Eufaula, and we had gotten the the whatever those houses are that you rent. I just went blank, but we had gotten that for the whole group because I have room with some other guys, but there wasn't enough parking space for all of our boats when we got there. So Stephen and I are the ones who opted to go find another place. So we had to find another place like last minute with this horrible storm that was coming in. And it was just horrible. We both got stomach viruses during Eufaula. I had it first. Then he ended up getting it. He couldn't even come, watch me take off the first day because he couldn't even hardly stand up. It was horrible. And so everything in the world that could go wrong did go wrong. But at the same time, fishing was great. And I never once worried about not one thing. Like no negative thoughts ever went through my mind. I'm like, I've already done the worst you can possibly do this season. Can't get any worse. So you might as well just go fish and enjoy yourself. And so that's what I did. And, I ended up coming in 7th place, and it was great. I mean, you walk away knowing that, hey, I can do this. I belong here. And hey, let's just go do it again.
Yep.
So.
Like I said, that's a good point. Positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
And just keep that momentum rolling. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, I kind of touched on it for a second. Your mind is probably the biggest thing that can hurt you. You got to have that mindset every single time. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to win. Don't go out there and try to get a check. If you go out there and try to get a check, that's all you're ever going to do. But if you go out there saying, I want to win, a check's a bonus if you don't win. And so, you just got to know. You actually really got to believe it in every part of your body. So,
yes, there are certain tournaments where you go into it after a practice and be like, well, just cashing a check would be nice. But then it's like, okay, after you get your first fish or two, then it's like, okay, this is a better situation than before. But I'm glad to see that you not got hurt, but came back with a fresh mind, because that could have really put a damper on the whole season for you. It's like, okay, what else is going to go wrong? And that speaks volumes for your attitude, I should say.
Well, I just have this, I have this will and this drive that, you know what, I can get knocked down over and over again, but I can promise you I'm going to keep standing up, and things like your knee or your shoulder, any of the above, that's all temporary stuff. I mean, yeah, my knee is still not fixed. I'm probably still going to have something done to it again, but for the time being, it's good enough for me to get out there, fish, do what I have to do, and it's just part of it. So
Carl Voss says she has a can-do attitude.
I try to. It's not always perfect, believe me. Some words come out of my mouth sometimes on the water that nobody ever needs to hear, but I believe that's just human nature. You don't get upset with yourself, you don't love it.
Yeah, I think we all do that once in a while.
Yeah, agreed.
So 2024 is a busy year for you.
Yeah, yeah,
you-
slightly.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about your season?
Yeah, we can
What
talk
your
about it.
plans are?
I'm fishing the NPFL again. I'm very glad to be on there for my second year. The NPFL guys have become like family. You know, you get used to the people that are on the road with you, and I'm glad to see a whole bunch of new faces coming on. That's very good for the NPFL. Also, I'm going to be fishing the second Division 2 of the Bassmaster Opens. I still call it the Central Division.
Yep.
That's just, you know. But anyways, I'm going to be doing that. And the World Fishing Tour, Harvey Horn and I are going to be fishing that together as a team event. And then him and I are also going to be fishing the Brandon Belt. And I'm going to be a boat captain for one of my son's friends a couple of times for his high school tournaments. So as of right now, that's it. But we'll see.
That's a busy enough schedule right there.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of all over the place, but that's how I like it. So.
And that's being a wife and a promoter as well. Like before the show, we were talking. You had a couple of shows that you were going to be doing. So
yeah, we're going to be at the Classic, and Bass Hub will be doing some stuff there too. We'll be giving away some things, and that's mine and Harvey Horn's podcast that we have on Tuesday nights. And working for some partnerships as well. And then iCast will be doing that, and anything else I'm told to go to. That's not on the schedule.
I give you and all pro fishermen a kudos for all the balancing act that you do.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard, because I'm still a wife, I'm still a mom, and those things in my life come first, even though it doesn't always look like it comes first. It does come first, and you have to be able to juggle, all the above. You got to juggle everything. I still got to take care of all my social media, the podcast, all my fishing. I try to get away from the house anytime I can to go fishing. So, it's definitely a juggling act. And I think that's a lot of reasons why more women are not doing this, is because it's very hard to juggle, and you got to have that support behind you to help you juggle. I mean, because I couldn't do this without Steven helping me every single day, emailing, or, he really doesn't do my social media for me, but I do all that. I can honestly say I do all that, but he will remind me, hey, you need to post, or you need to do this or that. I have to have that help sometimes, because like I said, I got a lot going on, and, I'm happy to have a lot going on. I'm definitely not griping about it whatsoever. I'm very, very blessed to be where I'm at.
Definitely
so
not.
Are you a better golfer than Steven?
No, he's a lot better golfer than me. He has like a 2 handicap, and I probably have like a 14. So I'm a bogey golfer. So like in the 80s, probably high 80s, somewhere around there.
That's where I am with 9 holes though.
We live at a golf course. So, I get to play a lot, and I really kind of stopped playing as much after I hurt my knee. I wasn't really as interested anymore, and I finally decided that I suck at golf. This is how it's going to be. I'll go play every so often to give Steven some company, but other than that, it is what it is. I'm definitely not trying to be a professional anytime soon.
Yeah.
So,
and Chris Kingry, I believe he owns 44 Tackle.
He does. Yeah. He's one of my partnerships that I have been with. This is my second year with them. So
he's says the Classic is going to be awesome. Can't wait to see Tyler Williams or Kyle Patrick win.
Oh, I know. Me too.
I'd love to see Kyle win, only because he's from New York and he's a friend of mine. But hey, no favoritism there.
Yeah. I like Tyler a lot. I mean, Tyler's personality is amazing. He's funny. And I think it would just be great if he won. It would be just great for the bass fishing world in general if he won. A lot of kids could look up to him and what he's done.
They do. So. And Barking Ruger says pro fishing has way more to do with ability to make the trail than just talent. It's a monster of a job.
It is. It is. It's a very, very big job. But you'll never hear me complain about it. You're never going to hear me complain about a schedule. I like to go to lakes that we know is going to be a struggle. I like that. I feel like when we go to lakes that are a struggle and there's not going to be a lot of fish caught, it's anybody's game at that moment. I mean, anybody can figure out where the fish are. And so I like stuff like that. Hey, take us somewhere, where, usually you'd go there in the spring, put us there in the summer, see how good you are there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people can go find bedfish.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people can.
Yeah.
Heck, now people can find anything, really.
Yeah.
That is true. That's one of the reasons why I like the COVID year, because it brought not the COVID aspect of it, but it extended the season to where it wasn't all natural, all the norm. They had to go some places in the wintertime, and which made it interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Now I've noticed talking about lady anglers, the high school and college. There's a lot of them coming into. Now, for all the young ladies in high school or college, what would be some of your advice for them?
Don't get married when you get straight out of college, because you get married, you have a baby. I can tell you fishing is probably going to be put on the back burner. That's just life. It's just how it is. If you really want a career in this, you need to get out there, work hard, dedicate 1,000% of your time to it, and save up your money. Work on your social media now, because don't wait until last minute. People, partners, new partnerships, sponsors, whatever you want to call it, that's what they're looking at now. Your value is your social media. That is what your value is. Yes, it's important how you do on the water, but it's more important what your social media looks like. I'm sorry, that's where fishing is going right now. It's hard that it is going that way, especially with me being as old as I am. It's hard, right? But I know that is your value. You add value by going out there, working off your butt, and doing really well. Go get a top 10. Go get a top 20. Don't be scared to get in your boat. And let's say go fish a BFL. You have 250 boats right there in a cove. Don't be scared to get out there. You're not going to hit them. If you do, say you're sorry. I don't know. You got to learn somehow. So get out there, go learn, do it, and act like you are great. And don't ever forget that. If you go out there with your tail between your legs, people are going to treat you like that. But if you go out there acting like you know what you're doing, then you're going to get treated like that too. So just man up. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry. That sounds kind of harsh, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're fishing against a whole lot of men, and you don't hear them whining. They may whine about the schedule, or, there may be a few words, hey, you're fishing too close to me or whatever, but you're not going to hear them whining, well, I can't back up my trailer. If you can't back up your trailer, get out there and start practicing. Go back it up in between two trees. I don't care. Just do it. Nobody has to see you practicing. And so, I mean, and I'm not dogging women. I'm just saying that's what it takes to get out there and do all that. So.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely. When the young angler ask me that, I'll tell them, hey, take as much marketing and business as you can.
Yes.
Because it will pay off.
So my background is business development. That's what my background is. And so I kind of understand the whole marketing situation. You don't want to shove products down people's throats. There's a certain way to do everything. And, also always use the products that you are marketing. Don't partner up with a product that you don't even use. People can smell BS through a freaking camera. I mean, they can do it. No money's worth being a liar. So, and that's kind of how I see it. Yep. Carl's right.
Yep.
Yes. And Barking Rivers wants to know, what do you enjoy more, fishing really rough weather conditions or odd seasons for a fishery?
Probably odd seasons. I mean, really rough weather conditions. A lot of things can happen there. A whole lot of things. I mean, Meaning, you got rough water. I can tell you a story. I was on Santee Cooper, this last season, and I was on the fish. I mean, I was on them, but this is where I didn't prepare the right way. Like you have to prepare. It's just, you gotta have a plan for this and a plan for that. Meaning the wind's coming out of the west one day, and let's say it turns and comes out of the east. You better have a plan for both, right?
Yep.
Well, I didn't plan for both. I planned for the other side of the lake. And me, how I am, I'm never scared of anything. The winds were like 20, 25 miles per hour. And I decided I'm going to cross the water because guess what? That's where all my fishing spots were. That was not good whatsoever. I filled up my boat with water numerous times. Everything was floating. I was soaked. I was cold. And then I was stuck over there too for a while. And because of that, I think I only brought in one fish. It wasn't the smartest thing I ever done, but it's what I did. But from now on, I will always remember to have plan, the A, B, and C. You have many plans. And like Chris is on here right now, he's always telling me, you can't have a plan bass fishing. You just got to go with it, and that's very true, but I'm still a planner. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to have multiple plans. And Jeff is over here saying, I bet you learned from it. I did. I learned. And it was hard. I mean, I really thought I was probably going to go down. My pump didn't work at the moment. It was the only time it's never worked. So it was not pumping out the water. I mean, it was totally full. Everything in there was floating. You couldn't even see going over the waves. So, your front of your boat so high up. I mean, you couldn't see anything. It was horrible. So, but hey, that's the situations that we have to do. It doesn't matter if it's raining, 25-mile-per-hour winds, snowing, whatever the situation, you just got to get out there and do it and try to forget that all that's going on.
And stay positive.
Yes. I mean, stay positive. I mean, at that moment, positivity is kind of hard.
Yep.
But you know what I do? I turn on my music. Depends on how I'm feeling now. If I have a good limit, I'm going to have like Snoop Dogg or something like that playing on my radio. Now, if I don't, then it's probably going to be some rock stuff. I don't know. Something that fits the mood. Definitely.
And Carl wants to talk about your new boat.
Oh, my new boat. So I am getting a Phoenix 921 Elite 2. It is ready for me to pick up, but the weather is horrible, so I won't be getting it until Wednesday. I got it from Jordan Marine. I got on the Phoenix national team. I have wanted to, be on there for a while now, and I'm finally there, and the boats are amazing. So I just can't wait.
Congratulations on making the national team.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh. You have anything else, Rob? I feel like I've been.
No, you good. Now, in your tournament career, was you ever a co-angler at any time, or did you go just straight to front of the boat?
No, well, I have fished some club stuff, and like I said, I fished behind my dad forever. I fished behind a lot of people, but I didn't go straight into this as a co-angler. I am, and I really hate to say this, I'm more of one of those. I'd hate to be in the back of the boat and somebody do something stupid, and I accidentally tell them they are doing something stupid. So. Yep. And because I never want to be that way, and I don't know everything. I'm not trying to say I do, but I know some co-anglers probably get in that position a lot of times where they're like, what in the world are we doing? Should I tell them that we're doing the wrong thing or this and that? And, I think I would learn a lot being behind somebody, but I really like where I'm at right now. And I like having co-anglers. I've enjoyed having a lot of different ones throughout the time I have been fishing, and I'm friends with probably 80% of them still to this day.
Yep.
So if you get in the boat with me, we're going to have a lot of different conversations. We'll know each other quite well before it's over.
That's my favorite part about being a co-angler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making new friends. And Jeff Gregory wants to know what electronics you use.
I'm actually running two different ones coming up. I was running all hummingbirds this year, but I am going to be running hummingbirds. Well, I have a 15 on the backs, 15 Solix, 212 Solixes on the front, and then I'm going to have a Garmin for my live scope. I didn't do that last year. I didn't run live scope. I ran Mega Live and I ran 360. I'll still be running 360, but I'm putting live scope with it. You know, being in some friends' boats, I love what live scope looks like. Is a way better picture. I think it's way ahead of the game. But I think the combination with 360 and live scope is a great, great combination. And so I'm sticking to that this year, and I'm really excited about it. You know, I'm excited to get on the water and start working with live scope. Luckily, I know how to work Mega Live. It can't be too much different, I don't guess. But I'm not against the whole live scope stuff. I know that conversation has been going on a while. You know, fishermen should not be using it. But unfortunately, I believe it's great. It's a good thing. If you aren't going to use it, then you're going to be stuck behind. You're going to be behind everybody. So we all kind of have to use it. I didn't grow up using electronics. You know, my dad fishes creeks and the banks and everything else, and he still beats my teeth in on a daily. You know, so you don't have to have them, but in a lot of situations you do if you're going to compete.
The way I look at it, it's your career.
Yep.
No matter what career you're going to have, you're going to want the best tools for the job. So, I mean, I wouldn't want a doctor working on me with a file and a chisel.
Yeah.
I'd rather I'm having precise equipment.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Exactly. I mean, the fish now, anyways, they're smart. You know, you got to get out there and go look for them now. You know, those days of just, you know, lining up to this tree on the bank, with this rock on this side, you know, those days are pretty much over. You know, I mean, I feel like the fish can feel the pinging a lot of times. You know, so we kind of got to work around that. You know, I know Tyler, we just talked about Tyler, you know, he stays on the move and looks for individual fish. And that's kind of what you got to do these days, I think. Yeah, it's just not the same anymore, which is good. It's going to keep evolving and it's going to keep on getting better. And I'm very excited to see what comes out next.
Yeah. What is your favorite technique?
What is my favorite technique? I'm definitely a finesse fisherman, but I love a shaky head. I think a shaky head will work almost anywhere that you go. I don't care where you go. If I had to pick one bait, always, that's what it would be.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never caught a fish on a shaky head.
What'd you say?
I've never caught a fish on a shaky head.
Really? Well, you need to start picking up one. Trust me. They're really good. I think they're very overlooked sometimes, which is fine because I'm going to still keep fishing with them. I really don't care whatever everybody else is doing. As long as it works for me, I don't care what anybody does. So,
yes, I say the same thing, not just with that, but in anything in life, you know?
Yeah. Well, you can't worry about what other people do. Everybody's lives and fishing skills and everything will always be different. Like I said, I don't know everything. I'm still learning on a daily basis. And, you know, I guess like they say, when you stop learning is the day that you need to give it up. And I don't think there's a day on the water that I don't learn a whole bunch of different things.
Definitely. Yeah, talking about shaky head. And it's funny, when I first started tournaments, I fished shaky heads a lot. Got kind of away from it, and I've got back to it. And yeah, it still catches them really good.
Oh, yeah, it does. Try to get my dad to start using them. He's an old Cinco guy. Won't put a Cinco down for nothing. For nothing. Like and so I'll pick up everything in the world. And, you know, I've been getting him on that shaky head lately. And so he was like, let me have one of those. And I tried to tell him, I said, Dad, I said, the bite's a little bit different than what you're used to. You know, you're not going to just, you know, feel that normal bite like you would with the Cinco. I said, it's going to get heavy. I said, so you're going to have to just really pay attention. And, he's starting to get it, but he's still putting that down. Even though I'm whooping his butt, he's still putting that down and picking up the dang Cinco.
Well, tell him
So.
he can run a Cinco on that shaky head. I've done that before. And
Oh, have you?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that would work too, for sure.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
Yep. Chris says fish don't eat frogs, Carl.
Yeah. Carl made a comment earlier about let's talk frogging. So that was a reply to that. So you said your finesse, is that mainly shaky head or so
finesse, drop shot, power shot, finesse jigs, any type of finesse techniques. I really like them. I don't mind picking up a big crankbait here and there, power fishing a little bit, but I like to slow it down, pick it apart. That's more my style.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'll put on a Rayburn red trap out here on Rayburn and cover some water. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Or throw a frog. That actually be my second favorite is frogging. But I use a pop and perch is what I use. So.
Jeff Gregory says they rig everything on a shaky head. Monster worms to a rage crawl.
Oh, yeah. Shaky head is really, really good.
Very versatile.
Yeah, very.
Would you mind describing your setup for the shaky head?
Talking
about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I use an 1/8 ounce shaky head. I also use the Finesse Z-Man worm that is behind me. They actually have all different colors. Also my rod over here. I just got new rods, y'all. So give me a second here. Here we go. Here's my shaky head rod. It's a medium heavy, a 7-1 Actions Extra Fast tip. And it is an arc rod is who I'm using now. I actually left 6 Gill, and not because of anything bad. They are a great rod. But what I ended up doing was I ended up buying a lot of different rods on my own dime. I was not asking for rods. I wanted to find out what I liked. And so, I mean, all kinds of rods. And I ended up liking arc the best. And so I fished with some of those, throughout my season. And that's how I ended up deciding. And we sat down and we talked, and it ended up working out. And so far, I've loved everything that they have given me. And their reels are amazing too. I have the Gravity 7. It's so smooth that you really have to, you don't have to put anything into throwing these whatsoever. Like if you tried to overthrow it, you're probably going to backlash. Like you barely throw it, just barely, and it just goes. And so I like that a lot. And good people too. That's the other thing is I work with good people, family type atmospheres where you can call an owner and talk to the owner. Or if you have a problem, who you can talk to, and they got your back just like you have theirs.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh, yeah, it does. For sure.
I love the fact that you're so organized. I'm admiring your wall back there.
My Z-Man wall.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very organized. You got to be, because I mean, I'm not going to have a lot of time to put everything in my boat coming up here soon. I pick up my boat Wednesday. It goes to get right. Well, I'm going to go break it in on Thursday. Hopefully get to fish this weekend a little bit, and then take it to go get it wrapped on Monday, get it back on Thursday, pack my boat, and be gone by 5:30 in the morning on Saturday to go to my first event of the year.
Wow.
So organization is key for me. My boat, on the other hand, I will leave with it organized, but it won't stay that way. It will be one hot mess by the time the tournament starts. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. But hey, it's my crazy mess, so it's all good.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yes, it does.
Do you? I know you don't discuss a schedule or look bad at it or anything like that, but is there one body of water that you're looking forward to going to this year?
I'm definitely looking forward to going back to Eufaula, Oklahoma. I get to go there with, Bassmaster Opens. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I get to go to Logan Martin twice this year. The first time is with the NPFL. The next time will be with the Opens. I'm obviously looking forward to that, getting there again. As far as a place that I'm looking forward to Pickwick, and not for the reasons why most people would think. I have never done good there, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm about to prove myself wrong. I'm about to show myself exactly what I can do there, and I'm not always going to be kicked down. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to end up doing okay. I may not win. I may not bring home a check, but anything better than 0, I will be proud of. So, it probably sounds crazy to most. Most people look forward to the places that they do really good at, but I look forward to going back somewhere I haven't. And
putting the puzzle together.
Yeah, putting the puzzle together because, I know I can do better than that performance, and I'm going to go prove it to myself. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's an excellent attitude to have,
I don't know any other way to think about it because, we don't pick our schedules, so we can either look at our schedules as something positive. Hey, I'm going to go learn something, or man, I've been there before and I sucked. I don't want to go back there. What does that get you? It gets you absolutely nothing but putting that negativity in your brain already before you're ever even there. And so why not just think positive about it and go into that, thinking that way? I think your minds, as I keep saying, your mind controls so much in fishing. I honestly think it's about 90% mindset and 10% skill. And if you can keep your mind on track and obviously not make stupid decisions. You can make stupid decisions on the water. How long do you stay here? Do you leave fish to find fish? Or, there's all kinds of decisions on the water, but that's still your mind. If you can keep all that straight, you're not fishing the NPFL because you can't fish. You're there because you can fish. But can you make your mind match your fishing potential? You got to make it match. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I remember Kevin Short one time. I attended one of his classes, and I'll never forget. He says, "Leave your clown shoes at home," and that's spot on. And I know talking about tough tournaments. I know, a lot of anglers show up, and it's 39 degrees. It's spitting snow. I think Rick Clunn said it. Half the fields already took themselves out of it. They're like, "Oh, we shouldn't be here today. The fish ain't biting." So half the fields already took themselves mentally out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that can happen. It happened to me this last year. It's happened to me several times. And I'm having to learn how to control that mental process. Another thing is stay away from the dog talk.
Yeah.
Who cares what Joe Blow down the road is doing?
Yeah.
If that is not your strength on how they're fishing, just ignore it. Do what you know how to do. Don't go out to a tournament trying to learn something new. Okay. Pick up what you know and use that. Use it to the best of your ability. And that would probably be my advice there. Only reason why I can say that is because I've been that person before. I've changed things based on what other people say. And until you stop doing that, you're not going to be successful. That's what I said. Going into Eufaula, I had let go of all that. I didn't care anymore. I was going to do what I wanted to do. And that works for me. So hopefully somebody listening to this will be like, oh yeah, I need to stop listening to the guys at the dock on how they're talking, catching them, and figure out how you want to catch them and make it work.
Yeah, because a lot of times, guys will say, well, they're biting a green pumpkin blue and silver glitter.
Yeah.
And these guys will go like all over town looking for these jigs, can't find them, and they get tournament, they're already spun out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't have that jig. I'm not going to get them today, and they get spun out.
The thing is, before I ever go to any of these lakes, we're able to get information up to a certain period.
Yeah.
My information is not waypoints. I don't want waypoints. I may want areas and what do they mainly bite there? Like what are they eating there as far as bait is concerned? What do they eat and what colors do they bite there? You know, I just those few things, because someone can give me every waypoint in the world. They can give me their rod, their line, the reel, the bait, everything, and I still may not be able to catch their fish. And so just give me the area. Let me figure out what works for me. There's no reason, why I need someone to show me all that stuff or anything. I need to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah, or they give you a waypoint on TVA Lake, like I know TVA Lake's here in Tennessee,
Yep.
and it could be 40 foot down winter level, and you go up there and it's 10 foot out in the dry. It's like,
I know Jeff Gregory over there is saying, what do you do to stay in shape? I'm more slap out after a tournament.
yeah,
I actually started lifting weights really after Eufaula. I do it every single day. I may miss one day, but I do it pretty much every single day. But I'm still worse slap out too. Trust me. I mean, it helps to an extent, but I just really try to stay in shape. I eat very good, healthy. So I think that's a big part of it. And I eat a banana in the boat.
I did not tell my boater this at the time, but my best weight, I had 2 bananas on the boat. One was before takeoff and one was after I got my 5th fish.
yep.
And then we got back to shore and he's like, you didn't eat much, because, my wife's a baker and I usually bring a dozen cookies and plus a bunch of other things. I said, well,
Yeah.
I had a couple bananas, and he just went up one side of me and down the other.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I actually bought a banana sticker for inside of my boat where the step is.
That's hilarious.
I did. Because I think it's hilarious that, people, and I get it. Everybody has superstitions. I get it. But, I started putting a banana in my boat, after I had so many knee problems. I was reading that all the potassium and everything's really good for your muscles and everything. And so that's why I really started putting them in there, and everything's been good since I started eating banana in the boat. So, hey, I may be starting a new thing here, but I doubt it. So I would throw the banana peel in the water during the tournament, and we would be around some docks. And I swear, if anybody was around that banana peel, they would move their boat. They would move if that banana was coming towards them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Barking Cooper says none of the baits work if you don't get them near the fish.
True. You got to be around the fish.
Yeah.
But hopefully, depending on what you're fishing, you've been fishing long enough to be able to find the fish.
Yep.
Yes.
So.
Carl says, now I believe Jeff got a little age on him just saying that. Okay. He also said that having a banana is bad luck.
Nah.
Now you proved that wrong already.
Yeah, not at all. It's not bad luck. It's only what you make it.
Yep.
It's only anything can be bad luck.
Yeah.
Or good luck. It just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I know. Very correct.
Yes. So we're about 45 minutes in. And I want to give you ample time because before the show, you talked about having some new partners and things like that. Would you like to talk about any of your partners? And
heck yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. I mean,
exactly.
They're the people that make all this possible. And I'm going to start off with my husband because he's made this possible for the last couple of years. And, the first year I didn't have a lot of people backing me, and that's perfectly fine. You got to get out there and prove yourself. And, he's had faith in me this whole entire time. I'm not going to say it's been easy because we have had some really tough moments. I've been really upset many a times, but as long as you have that backing by your spouse, you can make a whole lot of things happen. They have to have faith in you. You got to have faith in yourself. And so that's who's first. Oh, actually, who should have been first was the good Lord, because I can tell you, he's put me on this pathway. And, I always said that if I ever got to where I wanted to be, that would be the one thing I told everybody about. So
Definitely.
yeah. Anyhow, let's go on. So Joe from Texas, he's one of the owners of Rayburn Resort, Quality Mat. JoeForTexas.com is what it is. Go look him up. He's doing some really, really wonderful things around our community. He's doing wonderful things all around the United States. And I would love to talk a lot more about it, but I would really love for you to go on my Facebook page and watch one of his posts. I actually just put it up. Just a really wonderful man that's trying to do just amazing things for everybody. He wants to leave a legacy, and leaving a legacy for him is to help as many people as possible. So it's definitely something I can admire a lot. 44 Tackle. Okay, Chris Kingery's on here, one of my really good friends. Man, I can't say enough about them. Before I was partnered up with them, you can order things and they would be there at your house within 3 or 4 days. It was very quick, always had everything I needed. And he's also one of my best friends. And so, I'll always say you have to have all these people around you to support each other. I support him just like he will support me. And is part of this growing and, this adventure in fishing, right? Z-Man Fishing Products, I joined up with them this year. As you can see, I like them a lot. There's nothing that they don't have that I don't like. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. And I'm very excited to be a part of them this year. And if you haven't tried, some of their products, let me know and we can talk. Just send me a message and we can talk and I can tell you a little bit more about it if you need to know. Team Arc. Arc Fishing Rods, talked about the Gravity Reel earlier, the G7s and the Arc rods. I am in love with them, and it's going to be a good year when you have good rods, reels, a great boat. I'm with Phoenix this year. Got on the Phoenix team. I'm going to be driving a Phoenix 921 Elite 2 with the Mercury on the back. Joined the Mercury team as well. I've always ran a Mercury. I could not see me doing anything different because I love them. Haven't had any kind of problems with them and they run great. So, Jordan Marine, big props to Jordan Marine. He has been keeping my boat running for 3 years. And literally I had to have a new lower unit. It went in on a Monday and it was back out on a Thursday. You tell me who else can do that? Not a lot of people. Some of us are put on the back burner sometimes, but Jordan Marine, they would never do that. So everybody gets the same type of treatment there. And so anybody in Southeast Texas area, Texas, go see Scott Jordan, tell him I sent you. And, yeah, pretty much. Okay, Dakota Lithium. That is who I went with my batteries this year. First time to have lithium batteries. I'm super excited. As many great things as I've heard, about lithium batteries. I think I've been missing out for a while, to be honest. Pretty much. Fishwear. It is a clothing brand. I've been with them actually for 3 years. Paul and I are great friends. If you want a cool looking brand, he also, I think, has bar wear, golf wear, beach wear, all kinds of stuff. Depends on what you like. So has something for pretty much everybody, and kids clothes too, I think now. And the World Fishing Tour, they actually partnered up with Harvey and I for the podcast. Harvey Horn and I have a podcast called Bass Hub Podcast. Comes on at Tuesday nights at 7:00 Central Time, and it's a no plan show. We don't ever have a plan. So pretty much. Then that's how we loved it. I wanted a show that people could learn from, but yet also laugh at the same exact time. And that's what we got there. And also Bass Boat Wired. Sorry, that one's not on my deal. Bass Boat Wired too as well. yeah, he does the wiring on a lot of different boats, and we joined up with him too, is through the podcast. So, but I guess that's pretty much about it. Sorry, you guys. I had to read off my list, but I did not want to forget anybody, because every person I mentioned is such a big part of me being successful in any kind of way. Without them, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing. So,
And Nick is right. He says that says a lot, keeping your boat running.
yeah, it does. And the relationship that I have with them is huge too, because, I can walk in there and talk to them like I've known them forever. I'm not treated like a stranger. And I've never seen one person to walk in that shop who was treated like a stranger. So, I mean, that says a lot for what they're doing there. So,
yes. A lot of fishing is friendships, relationships, and family. So,
oh yeah.
you find,
and one more thing before I get off here, to Harvey Horn, I got to say, we sit here and talk about our partnerships and this and that, but your relationships that you have are a huge part. Your relationships, meaning your friendships. I said Chris is one of my best friends, the owner of 44 Tackle. Harvey is also. These two guys have to put up with me on a daily basis, all the phone calls, and it's all kinds of phone calls. I'm not going to get into it with y'all, what kind of phone call, but it's all kinds of phone calls. And so God bless them for listening to me all the time, because yeah, it's a lot, I'm sure.
That's okay. I'm sure that doesn't bother them at all.
Nah. They love my friendship, I think.
And Jeremy has it right here. You carry friendships longer than partnerships.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
And Chris says a lot.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's great. We all have a good time.
All right.
Can't beat that.
No.
I don't really have much more to say, but good luck. God bless. Safe travels.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all having me on. And good luck with the podcast. And if y'all need anything at all, y'all let me know.
We'll be following you, rooting you on for sure.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Be safe. Yep. All right. Well, that was a fun podcast.
I need some time management skill tips from her for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on that organization thing. I finally got my hooks and my line straightened and my tungsten, but plastics, we'll talk about that tomorrow's podcast. How about that?
Yeah. I got a couple tips for you on that. I've learned a couple of tricks on that.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you take care, sir. And don't forget, tomorrow's podcast is going to be Rob and myself talking about tackle organization. Good
time of year for that with all the weather.
Yes. Maybe we should have Stephanie talk about that. So,
yeah. We'll use her wall as an example.
There you go. All right. So if anyone has any other questions, for Rob or I, save them till tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.